Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at Casa de Emmanuel, and I always have to stop off and see the Sheets brothers, of course, Joe Jr., Steve, Lou, and Al out in Calcutta, where they do serve beer. But Mr. Sheets, all of you, I'm urging you, as I'm telling everyone in Eastern Ohio, Wilson McGinley, Frank Fuhrer, it's Rooney's Beer, perfect for St. Patrick's Day, along with some fine wine and spirits, like some Jameson's whiskey. Now that is a St. Patrick's Day party I'd love to be invited to. And remember, in the region, pick up the phone, do what's right, call Uber. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is somewhere on the AT&T Sports Line in California, where the weather's a whole lot nicer, Mr. Ralph Sindrich, being driven around by his lovely bride. Ralph, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing outstanding. What's not to be good when you're out in Venice, California, and the weather's great? People are scooting around on their bikes, and everyone's having a good time.
Listen, Ted Arnaud was to be here tonight, but he couldn't make it, and we were really going to get into detail about some of the NFL Combine stuff, but I just want to throw out a couple of names to you, but more or less get your impressions of the NFL Combine, because you being an agent and a former NFL player when there wasn't a Combine, to get your thoughts on how significant it really is. I'm a fan of it. I think it's a necessary evil, something you have to do to make your stock rise in the National Football League, and it gives everybody that loves the game and who works for the game a chance to witness some of the next athletes who are hopefully going to have a chance to play a long career on the next level. And one of them is a kid out of Clemson by the name of Deshaun Watson, a quarterback. But everybody's talking about not just his performance, but John Ross, a wide receiver out of Washington, who ran the 40 in a 4.22 dash. Incredible stuff. Running backs, Christian McCaffrey in there, tight end out of Alabama, O.J. Howard. You've got some offensive linemen, even Nick Bisnowaty out of Pitt made some nice noise out there. But people like Garrett Bowles from Utah, and the defensive lineman that a lot of people think might be the number one pick going to the Cleveland Browns, he is Myles Garrett. So just some names, the Combine, all of the skill drills that they do. Your thoughts about its place in the National Football League in 2017 and beyond, Ralph?
I think it's a bunch of crap. I think all it does is guys go in, you make sure the guy's not brain dead and that he's not damaged beyond repair, and that's about all it's good for. The rest of it is poison to people's minds.
Well,
no, I'm kidding you there. I mean, I like it, and I like what you say about it. It is a way to compare them all. You see them all right there. You do get jaded by looking at the numbers, because there are a lot of pretty boys that really don't go out there and play, and a lot of ugly guys who just look bad who can go out there and kick your butt. So I think that's the difference, and as long as you're able to have a football background and know that there is a distinct difference, that the NFL, that football is still its quickness, its read, its understanding, it's knowing the game of football.
And also in the cornerbacks, Minnesota's Jalen Myrick's 4.28 second 40 would have been the talk if it wasn't for John Ross. But in the safeties, these hybrid safeties who not only have to learn to cover wide receivers, but how tight ends like Rob Gronkowski become such a big part of the game. Julian Peppers, another one that everybody is talking about. You know, I just, what I love about it, it gives people a chance to see the true athletic ability of these future players. But more importantly, you still don't know until somebody plays at the next level. Good example, Vince Young out of Texas, who was all everything I was a big fan of. Trending today, he may actually take a stint in the Canadian Football League, and hopefully that'll work for him, because you really don't know how good anybody's going to be, no matter what their 40-yard dash is, their vertical leap is, until they suit up and play Sundays, which you did in the National Football League. That a fair statement?
Yeah, 100%. And what you're doing is exactly right. I mean, you need to understand the players, their height, their weight, their speed, how they fit in, how you're going to use them. That's where the Combine becomes so important, so critical. Beyond that, though, it's like, what Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan until you get hit in the mouth.
Right.
That's the same thing in football. You go out there and you got to be able to do it out there. And again, there's just a lot of guys who aren't pretty boys who can go out there and play well, but you love to be able to look at some of the guys who have the ability to be an all-time great.
You know, we're also very famous in this part of the world for the Lou Holtz Upper Ohio Valley Hall of Fame. And, I have a few connections. I think one of the guys who needs to be added to that list is the guy who's on the phone with me right now, a tremendous wrestler and football player at the University of Pittsburgh, my favorite, even though I'm in Ohio State country. I love the Panthers. And, of course, he played in the NFL. Hey, just a quick anecdote about Lou Holtz. This, of course, his hometown, and I'm sure you've had a few conversations with the coach, Ralph.
We have, and let me say this. He's a guy who is gifted in so many ways. I have listened to his speeches and the way he talks and what he says, and beyond that, he's something special, and I know that without a doubt, because my best friend, client, Mark May, is one of his best friends and was a working partner and had nothing but the best of things to say. And Lou even, he goes to Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, for example. What's his comment on a Stephen Jones? Really a good kid. And to me, coming from Lou, that's that's about as good as it gets.
All right, let's talk free agency. That's the big ticket, and we're going to be talking more about this throughout the week. Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys. Word today that Tony Romo could be released by Thursday. You're not shocked by that, are you?
No, not at all. And, I've never been a big supporter of him. I've never thought him to be a team guy, more of a beauty type guy who looks good out there. I think if you put him with a team like the Broncos, with the Elway and people that he really looked up to and all the rest, and he changed maybe just a tad there, he could do something pretty special. But one thing here, there are rules out there. Nobody knows what the rules are, but there are rules. And one of them is you can't have an agreement before you go out and free agency. And he can't even have an agreement with Jerry, wink, wink, you want to call whatever you want to say he's not going to go to this team or that team or whatever. That's all against the rules, pretty serious consequences, even for a guy like Jerry, though they may only slap him on the wrist one time. But so if he's getting released, he's released. He's open to everyone. There can't be any other deals that are legal.
Hey, we're going to work him in on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show with Greg Deolis, a good friend of his, one-time business partner, and of course, Greg now, Vantage Management Group. Ralph still doing high-end stuff in the National Football League and worldwide as an agent as well. Also, Bob Dvorak, the author of that great book, Drive On. He, of course, for many years with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and our handicapper, Ted Arnaud. We're going to be starting Pirate Baseball with Bruce Tanner coming up Sunday, March 26th. He's a scout with Detroit, but he's our go-to guy speaking Major League Baseball. And the Pirates, that great nutting family in this town at your neighborhood Sheets out in Calcutta. They're two great papers that I love so much and I have used many times back in the day when I was doing play-by-play for Resources, talking the Morning Journal and the Evening Review. A couple of other